So today I'm going to be unboxing and setting up the newly released Roku Express. The Roku Express is currently the least expensive amongst Roku's lineup of streaming devices. Now the Roku Express is also a close cousin of the Roku Express Plus, which is better suited for older TVs. The only difference between the Roku Express and the Roku Express Plus is the fact that this only has an HDMI output, whereas the Roku Express Plus also has an RCA output for older TVs. And as with every product that I unbox, I will be doing a full review of this device, so stay tuned for that. If you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to stay tuned for that full review. So let's go ahead and get it out of the box. The first thing you need to do is slice open this piece of tape here. Then let's open the box up. So I've got everything out of the outer packaging. So let's see what's in the box. So the first thing you'll see is the device itself, that is the Roku Express itself. Now right under the device itself, you receive a piece of double-sided tape which is used to attach the Roku Express to your TV. You also have an almost standard Roku remote. It's a very simple remote with Netflix, Hulu, Sling, and Vudu buttons and the other familiar navigation buttons. You also have the AC power brick, 2 AAA batteries for the remote. Now under the plastic tray, you have a quick start guide which shows you how to set the device up step by step. And inside this little blue tray here, you have a full-size HDMI cable and a micro USB to USB cable to power the device. Now the Roku Express needs to be attached onto the bezel of the TV such that the receiver for the Roku Express is visible to the remote. So the Roku Express has to be within line of sight of the remote, so they recommend that you attach this to the front bezel of the TV. And in order to do this, they've provided, as I said, a piece of double-sided tape. And what you'll do is first peel this piece of double-sided tape and make sure that surface is clean, and then apply this piece of double-sided tape onto the back of the Roku and press down firmly so that it sticks. To attach this to the TV, you'll need to peel off this backing here. Now do not remove this piece here, do not trim it off. This is the piece that lets you remove it in case you need to remove the Roku Express from your TV. So in case you're selling your TV or you're selling your Roku Express and you need to remove it from the TV, you have to pull on this tab, and this is the tab that lets you release the Roku Express from the TV. Now make sure to install the AAA batteries in your remote before you connect the Roku Express to your TV. So today I'm going to be connecting the Roku Express to my 22-inch Samsung TV here. Now this TV is really convenient because I have 2 HDMI ports right here and a USB port right next to it. Now don't stick the device to the TV just yet. Let's do the wiring first and then you can stick the device to the TV. If you first make your connections and then stick the device to the TV, you won't disturb the adhesive on the double-sided tape. The first thing you're going to do is plug in the provided HDMI cable into a HDMI port that you're not using on your TV, and then we're going to plug the other end into the HDMI port on the device itself. And next we're going to power the device using the provided USB to micro USB cable. I'm going to plug the micro USB end into the micro USB port on the device, and then I'm going to plug the full-size USB end into the USB port on my TV. Now most TVs will have a free USB port on the side or on the back. However, if your TV doesn't have a USB port, you can always plug the full-size USB end into the power brick and then plug it into a wall outlet. For my testing though, I'm going to leave it plugged into the back of the TV because I feel that most people are going to end up using it this way. Now Roku doesn't recommend sticking the device to the back of the TV or any area here at all. In fact, they recommend that the receiver on the device be visible to the remote at all times. Now ideally the best place to stick it would be on the bottom of the front bezel. Now if you have a TV like mine which has an IR receiver up here, I wouldn't recommend mounting the Roku Express on this side just to prevent any interference between the two receivers. So instead I'd recommend mounting it on the opposite side. Now obviously if you don't have enough space on the bottom of your TV for some reason, or there are are other obstructions that prevent you from mounting the Express to the bezel, feel free to mount it on the stand or even right in front of the TV on the table itself. Just make sure that the receiver, which is the glossy side, is facing forward. If all that doesn't work out, you can always mount it on the top bezel of the TV. Just make sure again that the receiver is pointing forward and is visible to the remote. In my case, I'm going to stick it on the left-hand side to the bottom bezel. Now you want to pick that side of the bezel that has the greatest amount of surface area, just to make sure that the double-sided tape has enough surface area to stick to the TV and doesn't just fall off. Now before you do this, Roku recommends that you clean the surface on the bottom of the bezel of your TV or wherever you're mounting it using an alcohol swab. Now if you don't have an alcohol swab, just make sure to use a paper towel and ensure that this surface is completely clean. And I've peeled off the backing on the back of the double-sided tape, and let's stick the device to the TV. So I'm going to try and position it as best as I can and then press down firmly. And about the provided strip of double-sided tape, it's absolutely pathetic. It's not very adhesive, it comes off very easily, it doesn't go on very well, and it probably won't hold the device in place. So here's what I recommend. Use these removable strips of Scotch double-sided tape, and I'll leave links to those strips in the description below. Now I didn't have those strips accessible, so I just used a regular piece of Scotch double-sided tape. You can also do this if you have double-sided tape lying around. Just note that it will be a little harder to pull it off the TV when you choose to remove it. And that pretty much completes the installation of the device on the TV. So let's go ahead and set it up. And to start setting the Roku Express up, power on your TV, and next you're going to select the source. In my case it is HDMI 2 because the device is plugged into the second HDMI port. I'm going to go in and select HDMI 2 as my source, and as soon as you do this you can see that the Roku is ready to set up. And from here on out I'm going to use the Roku's remote to do the setup. First it asks you to select the language. In my case it's English. I'm going to select English. Next you have to connect it to a Wi-Fi network, and you absolutely need to do this in order to use the Roku because all the services on the Roku are streaming services. So I'm going to go ahead and select my network, and then it asks you to log into it. Okay, so I've entered the password, and then I'm going to hit connect, and then it says that it is connecting to the network and it's connected to the internet. Now it's saying that there is a update available, a software update, and I'm going to hit OK to update it. And there you go, it's updating it, and it will restart once the update is installed. And then it asks you to set the display type. I'm going to try and select this, and it is trying to set the resolution for the display, and I'm going to say yes, the screen looks good, and I'm going to keep the 1080p resolution which it has chosen for me. And then you're going to have to activate your Roku access, and this is done by going to the URL roku.com/link and then entering this code. You might need to set up a Roku account, but it's a pretty straightforward process, so let's go ahead and do that. You're going to have to do this either on your phone or on a computer, so I'm actually using my phone to do this. I've entered my activation code and I'm going to hit submit. Then it asks me if I have a Roku account already. I have a Roku account and I'm going to enter my information. However, if you don't have one, it's very simple to create one. So after I'm signed in, it expects me to add at least a few channels. I'm going to add a few channels just to get me started, and then hit continue. And then it asks me if I'd like to log into any existing accounts like Amazon. That's probably a good idea to do at this point. For now, I'm just going to hit continue, and that says you're done. Now you can see the changes on your TV. It's setting up the channels and the Roku is getting set up. So that's pretty much all you have to do on your phone. Okay, so it says that it is all done, and it also recommends that you download the Roku app for iOS, Android, or Windows devices. And I also do highly recommend this just because the Roku app does make it a whole lot easier to control the device. It's a whole lot easier than the remote. So I'm going to hit the OK button, and that takes me to the home screen. And on my home screen, I have a very familiar Roku layout. And as I said earlier, I will be looking at all the features of the Roku Express in detail in my full review. So stay tuned for that. If you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe so that you get notified when that review is uploaded. And if this video was helpful, please give us a big thumbs up and subscribe to stay tuned. And if you're looking to buy the Roku Express, I've left a link to the device in the description below, so feel free to check that out. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.